And with former world featherweight champion, WBC, also British and European champion Paul Hoko Hodkinson. And I'm in my own house here in Ardoyne. This is Paul's third time in Ardoyne. And I'm going to ask them 10 questions here. Paul, first question, how did you get into the sport of boxing?
When I was 10 years of age, my dad's mate's son was boxing, a fellow called Kevin Nolan, and he just said, why don't you take Paul down to give it a go? And that's how it all started. I went down at 10 years of age with white baseball boots on.
Who inspired you into boxing?
I like growing up in the 70s, watching the great fights of the 70s, Iran and John Conte and
John Conte, a Kirby lad like yourself.
John Conte and Kirby lads, and I just took to it at that 10 years of age, and I just kept on it and never looked back.
Well, who was the biggest influence in your career?
It'd be my dad. My dad was my number one supporter. He was there all over the world watching me, and he encouraged me, and when he was my biggest influence in my career.
And what did you say earlier? You would have said, Dad, I don't feel like going to training today.
I remember when I was a kid at 11 years of age, and on Sunday morning about 10 o'clock, I go into my dad's room and go, Dad, I don't feel like going to the gym today. He go, okay son, go and get your kids, go and get your kit and go to the bus stop. And I'd go, just, even though I didn't want to go at that time, my dad told me to go and I swear to go.
Who was the hardest puncher you ever faced? Apart from me?
Amateur or pro?
Either.
As an amateur, I boxed at John Davison, who was a big puncher. He stopped me the first time. I boxed him, but I won the rematch. John was a big puncher. As a pro, I don't know, as a pro, no.
I can't remember you ever being hurt really.
I boxed I could put down against a Mexican called Montoya. He called me with a sucker punch as I moved in to finish him off. He just called me and.
Right. What about sparring? Even anybody ever, excluding myself now, I'm not trying to get myself in this interview.
Yeah, do you know what? I was a featherweight, but I boxed a sparring a fellow called Eamon McAuley.
Right.
He was a flyweight, and for the flyweight today he can punch, he's a real puncher, and I was part of Eamon McAuley a few times, and Eamon was a big puncher as well.
Well, I put 2 rounds of you sparring Dave Boy on YouTube. I've put quite a lot of stuff of you. I don't know if you've ever.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah.
Roy Nice, you put the fight. Do you remember Roy Nice from Derry?
Yeah.
That was one of your early internationals.
It was my debut for England.
Oh, it was your debut?
It was debut for England. I don't know whether it was young England or.
What was your best moment in boxing?
Well, obviously winning the world title, plus gaining revenge on my first defeat against Marcus Villazana. Actually, it's every fight you dream to be champion of the world, and and I was delighted that I'd won the featherweight champion of the world, and
tough opponent too, quality fighter Marcus Villazana, who had lost a close decision to Azuma Nelson, very close decision. I think it was a majority decision to Azuma Nelson previous to that.
Do you know the first fight with Villazana? I went in the fight with, maybe I underestimated his toughness. I went in the fight with 18 fights, 17 knockouts. I'm gonna knock you out. My tactics was, as always, just toe-to-toe. Went toe-to-toe with him, and I was winning the fight.
Winning easy, it was the best I ever seen you.
And, I was in close to him all the time, the heads were going in, the elbows, and, I come on, them Mexicans are tough, and there wasn't a mark on Villazana, and I dominated the fight.
Dominated the fight, yeah.
But when I come out...
your 2 eyes were close shut. You ended up, you had to say, not your corner, you had to say to the referee, I can't see. I couldn't see.
And, anyway, but the second time I boxed him, I was more experienced, and I said to myself, there's no way, you're not going to knock this fella out, bro. So you need to change your tactics, and so that's what I done. I was going in there, throwing me punches, and I was right out of there right away. And halfway through the fight, Villazana knew what I was doing, and he was calling me in all the time, and I was saying to myself, no chance. I just stuck to the game plan, throwing me punches, bobbing and weaving, in and out, and I won the champion of the world.
Who trained you as an amateur?
John Lloyd. You know, I stuck with them all the way through my amateur career. You know, and you know, they put a lot of time into the boxing.
Well, now's your chance to thank them.
I was just like thank Richie passed away a long time ago, and you know, I dedicated one of my fights after his death on live on BBC.
Right.
John Lloyd, he's still one of the
Yeah, I've met John. I know John.
the
Yeah.
boxing club today. You know, that's where it all started. You
And
know.
as a pro, who trained you as a pro?
Eddie Shaw, the stars, wasn't it? Eddie Shaw,
Yeah.
and John Breen, Bernardo Checker. You know, I just like to thank them all for the whole help they give me along the way to my career.
Right. At the start of every fight, you touch gloves and you give respect. Although the fight may be a war, do you still feel the same after the fight? Respect for your opponent?
Yeah, I've always had respect for my opponents, you know. I always to go in there, you know, do what I have to do. You know, and you don't hate an opponent, you're in there doing what you have to do, and you know, and after the fight, you shake hands, wish them all the best. You know, you have your good days and bad days, you know, as I have.
Was there ever an opponent you didn't like?
Yeah.
That you couldn't stand?
No.
You had a few rivalries. You had a rivalry with John Highland. You had a rivalry with John Davison.
I didn't.
No.
Out the ring, we were like, we'd have a drink and we'd chat away and that, but there's no hate
Animosity,
or
no. What do you want to be remembered for? Or what did you want to be remembered for? Or what do you want to be remembered for?
You know, when Paul Hodkinson fought, you know, he was value for money, entertaining, he was never in the dull fights, gave it 100%, you know, and he was exciting to watch.
Well, who's your favourite boxer of all time and why?
Well, I was going up with the Duran.
And you've met them. And you said to me you sparred Duran.
I sparred Duran in Palm Springs, and I got his boots actually.
You took my place.
It was just to
I was to go.
It was just to move around, and you know, I sparred with the great Roberto Duran, which is
You're rubbing it in now.
You know, Julio Cesar Chavez was one of my idols. You know, I remember fighting for the British title for the first time, and when I was fighting, the commentator said, looking at young Hodkinson is like looking at young Chavez, you know, and I took that as a great compliment, as he was one of my favourite fighters at the time.
Have you any advice for any up-and-coming boxers?
You know, boxing's a hard game, and you know, in boxing you can't cut corners. You know, if you're not going to give 100%, don't bother. You know, no matter how much talent you've got and how good you are or how hard you are, if you don't put the hard work in the training, mate, it doesn't come together. You need to put the hard work in the gym to be successful.
Thanks very much, Paul Hodkinson, for speaking to us today.
You know, I'm back in Belfast 21 years later after I left here in '94. You know, and I've got some great memories in Belfast. I've met some great friends. I've got some great boxing fans over here. I'd just like to thank them all for supporting me and helping me along the way. And you know, and it's good to be back in Ardoyne with Eamon McAuley and I'm going to meet Ardoyne. And you know,
and I had you in the GAA. I had you the Magic Fly Roadshow in 1987. We went up to Gene Alexander's and captured you. Now when Eddie Shaw heard he went berserk, but we were only on the Dad Cook.
Yeah, as I said, you know, if you're going into boxing, you know, you're going to avoid all this alcohol.
Do you still remember that when you went?
Yeah, I think that night he taught you how to dance.
Yeah. Do you remember anybody else who was in the company?
Tony.
Well done, yeah.
Tony
McNulty.
Tony, I think didn't he come to Ulster over and stuff?
He did, yes, he did.
It's all come back to me now,
yeah.
Tony, yeah.
Right. That.
When I look back on now on my boxing career, you know, it was all good experience for me and Eamon going to them places and sparring with world class fighters and travelling to different countries, you know, and it was all Barney took us there for all good. It was all good experience for us into the start of our career.
It was fantastic, wasn't it? I mean, he really invested in us.
You know,
I mean,
but me and Eamon, you know, we feared no one. We went to gyms in Panama, Los Angeles, and we sparred world champions. We were just up and coming professionals. You know, we held our own with every single one of them.
Do you remember them gyms in Colombia especially? We had to get someone to mind their clothes. And Barney Eastwood was paying them to spar us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were looking super featherweights to spar, and there was super pluma. And you were getting big heavyweights coming up going, me, super pluma, me. And I'm going, no, he's a heavyweight, get the scales out. Because they were getting
they were queuing up to spar, as I remember that, yeah.
But that was a rough gym.
Yeah, but we, you know, me and Eamon held our own against
we did
anyone
indeed, yeah.
in the gyms in South America.
Yeah.
You know, we feared no one. We just sparred and put it in front of us, and if you a few pounds heavier, we'll just get on with it. Last
thing, talk to me about Hector Lopez.
Hector Lopez was, we sparred, I remember we were in the gym in Los Angeles, there was me, Eamon, what's his name? Raphael,
Marcus
Villazana,
Antonio
Esparagoza, and the
Ruelas brothers, that's right, yeah.
In the gym, but I sparred Hector Lopez. He was very fast hands, good mover, and then I sparred with Marcus Villazana. And you always remember after the spar with Marcus Villazana, you know, this was 1987, little did I know I'd be fighting him in 3 years' time for the world title. I remember Hector Lopez coming up to me saying how well I'd done against him, and I said, do you think so? He went, yeah, he's done really well against Marcus Villazana, you know. I was delighted.
But he was a tough guy, Hector Lopez. I sparred him too. We may have been a wee bit jet lagged, but yeah, he was a tough boy. But he didn't seem to like me. But as I say, we were having coffee, breakfast the next morning, and Joe Goosen joined us and sat down. And he said to me, Hector says you called him a good shot yesterday. I mean, I was never paid a greater compliment, because he'd such an iron chin. He was never down in his pro career. No. Just his last fight, he got put down. But maybe that's why he didn't like me. Probably one final question, Paul. Who would have won between you and Barry McGuigan?
Do you know what? You know, when you ask me, how would I get on against anyone? Not just Barry McGuigan, anyone. At my weight, Nazim. You know, I'm not going to say I'm going to beat. I was confident against anyone. I was confident in my ability against anyone who put in front of me. Any featherweight who put in front of me. That's not sound being cocky or arrogant or, you know what I mean? I was just confident in my ability, and, you know, against Barry or anyone, you know.
Right. Well, I'm going to take an eye to the Cliftonville game. We're playing Portadown at home. Paul Hodkinson at Solitude, supporting the Reds. Okay, Paul, give us a wee wave there. All right.
Go on, the Reds. I just got Cliftonville.
Cliftonville? Yeah.
Lift on.
Do you want to spell it for you?
Hey, all out.
Here.